These past few years, I've been blessed to be heading up this amazing parish of St. Lawrence O'Toole. It's here in Brewster, New York, and the parish dates back to just after the Civil War, when Brewster was a tiny mining village and the Harlem line of the railroad extended from New York just up to here. It was a time when Irish and Italian immigrants were just flooding into the United States and building up the church all over. And the pioneering Catholics of this community built a church and a cemetery and eventually a school. And they built traditions that would last for generations. In 1915, they opened this beautiful stone church in which our people worshiped and prayed for 100 years. And this past year, for our centennial, we renovated it as a tribute to those men and women of faith who came before us, and as a legacy for those who are going to come after us. The world that we've inherited is a very different one from the early Catholics of Brewster. It's been our lot to live in difficult times, times in which people struggle with questions of faith. People aren't sure these days if they can count on God, if He has their back. Many Catholics in our time have drifted away from the church. It makes it a huge challenge to even be sure of what we believe, and a struggle to pass on our faith and our values to our children and grandchildren. And yet at the same time, it's clear to me that people have a great hunger for God, for truth, for something they can count on. We're all aware that the shifting values of a culture in crisis just doesn't have the answers. We need something more to fill our hearts. So this parish set out a few years back on a path of renewal. Father McKeon started it off by going back to the fundamentals. He took a closed-down school building and restarted a pre-K and a kindergarten program to help bring young families into the parish. He focused on the spiritual by starting up daily Eucharistic adoration, convinced that the Eucharist is the spiritual center of every successful parish. And he brought the highly successful Cornerstone Retreat program to St. Lawrence. And since then, hundreds of parishioners have been touched by the power of this life-changing retreat. They've gone on to develop lives as authentic disciples of Jesus. When I took over St. Lawrence in 2012, I sensed that God had a plan for the renewal of this parish. We started off developing the school building and renovating it into the state-of-the-art parish center with conference rooms and seminar rooms, a chapel, and a museum of the history of the parish. We took a building that was underused and transformed it into a place of encounter for parishioners, a place where all are welcome and where anybody's journey to find God can begin and develop as the Holy Spirit guides each one. We've developed programs to communicate the gospel to young and old, for those who are lifelong Catholics and to those who are new to faith at all, and to those who are doubting and wondering. St. Lawrence has something for every single person, because our mission is to form disciples of Jesus Christ and reach out to those who as yet don't know Him. Nothing makes me happier than to see someone who discovers Jesus Christ and the joy and peace that a relationship with Him brings. Some of those people would like to share their experience of life at St. Lawrence O'Toole.
Trying to keep small children still during Sunday Mass can be a challenge. At St. Lawrence O'Toole, there's a fun learning program for babies and small children. Now my husband and I can worship without distraction. St. Lawrence O'Toole meets families where they're at.
Hi, I'm Eileen DePaoli, and I'm proud to be part of the team leading CYO basketball in Edge. The teens involved in CYO wear their red St. Lawrence sweatshirts year-round with pride. They form friendships that last a lifetime and learn Christian values that help them to succeed on and off the court. In Edge, the teens learn that they are loved by God in a fun environment that is suited to their active and energetic learning style. This parish cherishes the youth and has created a loving place for them. I am very proud to call St. Lawrence my home.
We've been parishioners here at St. Lawrence O'Toole for 43 years. We've raised our family here. They've had all their sacraments. We've celebrated their weddings. And now, fortunately, we're on the next generation of celebrating their sacraments and their weddings. They still are members of St. Lawrence O'Toole. That is a blessing for us. In this centennial year, with the renovation of our church building and all of the spiritual activity that our parish priests have brought, it has been a blessing to be able to witness all of this joyful activity. We were able to go away for a couple of months this winter, and I can't begin to tell you how much we missed not only our family, but we missed our parish family and our parish priests and all the activity that was going on here.
Our church has kept up with modern times. While we were away, we were able to keep in touch on Facebook with our parish and Lenten activities. And doing the Stations of the Cross on Fridays at the same time that they were doing it at St. Lawrence gave us a feeling of home.
Hello, I'm James Tiffany. I'm new to the parish here at St. Lawrence O'Toole. I joined 7 months ago. I met great people during my first Mass who invited me to attend the Discovering Christ series, which I did, and I was overwhelmed by the Holy Spirit, and I loved it, and I'm looking for more. And I've joined the men's ministry, I've done Cornerstone, I'm doing now Following Christ, and I'm just overwhelmed by the Holy Spirit, by God. I wouldn't trade this in for anything. I love the people here, I've made great friends. I'm excited to be a member of the church here. This church has saved my life.
Being members of this great parish means being part of a whole community, a giant family of like-minded people who are also journeying to grow closer to Jesus Christ. In 2012, the Women's Cornerstone Retreat here at St. Lawrence O'Toole changed my life. My heart was opened and I wanted to have a relationship with Jesus. I strive every day to become the person He wants me to be and to lead others to Him as well.
St. Lawrence O'Toole has actively evolved into a parish whose mission is to find those who have fallen away from the church or have never known God at all.
We want to spread the good news that Jesus Christ knows and loves each and every one of us, and His love never stops.
My decision to come back to St. Lawrence was motivated by the desire to improve my relationship with Jesus Christ. With all the programs that are offered in modern facilities, it is truly a center for spirituality. Programs like Discovering Christ and the Men's Cornerstone made me realize how important it is for an adult to continue growing spiritually and how lacking I really was. The opportunity to participate as a volunteer in catechetical youth programs like EDGE and Steubenville conferences have been so fulfilling and deepened my relationship with Jesus. I discovered that I was the real student in the room, that I learned from these wonderful kids, and I'm just so thankful. I'm hopeful that the joy kindling in my heart will help others in my family and my circle of friends also seek out their own joy, and I'm so thankful to be a part of the St. Lawrence community.
This celebration of our church's centennial brings to mind the stories of my family's connection to the building of the church and of the parish. My ancestors came from Ireland in the late 1800s. They settled in Brewster and they became members of St. Lawrence O'Toole Parish. Life was not easy for Catholics in those days. My grandmother remembers that when looking for employment, there were signs in the store windows of businesses in town saying, "Irish need not apply, Catholics need not apply." Even with these obstacles, they raised their families and they built what one pastor, Father Heaney, called our gem of an Irish Gothic church. My great-grandfather, Michael Gallagher, was a stonemason. He worked on the actual construction of this church, as well as the mausoleum at the St. Lawrence Cemetery. 2 generations later, his grandson was the first priestly vocation from the parish, and he celebrated his first Mass here in this church. To raise money, there were card parties, cake sales, covered dish suppers, bazaars, and dances. And there was the St. Lawrence Dramatic Society, which put on large productions in the old town hall down on Main Street. My family was not unique. There are many people in Brewster who could tell similar stories of the sacrifices made by their families to build the church and the parish. The legacy of their hard work and strong faith has been passed down to us, along with this gem of our church. How blessed we are.
Pope St. John Paul used to say all the time, "Do not be afraid. Open wide the doors for Christ." At St. Lawrence O'Toole, the doors are open for you.